Good evening all. Thank you so much for your continued patience to remain in the hall till the end of this session and today's conference. My today's topic is Guargum Revisited Potential Carrier for Targeted Drug Delivery Systems. This topic is not new, but just I have selected this topic out of curiosity, out of my love to go towards nature, back to nature. Guargum has high drug loading capacity, biocompatibility, biodegradability, which are the key points to design a drug delivery system effectively. The pursuit of this review presentation is to concisely describe the recent developments of Guargum-based drug delivery systems. Furthermore, biomedical applications and current clinical studies of these experimental drug deliveries are summarized in my following slides. Let us go quickly through the introduction of Guargum. The scientific name is Cymopsis tetranogolobus, common name Guargum or Jaguargum, family is Fabaceae. And then speaking about the agriculture, this is mainly produced in India, Pakistan, Southeast Asia, and then in Brazil and USA. And it is a white yellowish powder, nearly odorless and with bland taste. It is practically insoluble in organic solvents, and in cold or hot water, Guargum disperses and swells almost immediately to form a viscous and thixotropic sol. Coming on to the morphology of the guarbine, guarbine grows in pods which are 1 to 2 inches long, and typically there are 6 to 9 beans per pod. The endosperms account for about 1/3 of the bean weight and contains the majority of the galactomannan, which is the main constituent of the guarbine. The industrial applications of guarbine are majorly in paper, textile, oil drilling, etc. The white free-flowing powder derived from the guar splits is widely used by the global oil and gas industry for fracking and hydraulic fracturing techniques. Due to its unique binding properties, the ability to suspend solids, bind water by hydrogen bonding, controls the viscosity of aqueous solutions and form strong, tough films. That is the reason that it is used in various industries, just like confectionery, just like in oil drilling, and also in pharmaceutical industry as well. India's production contributes to 80% of the total production, which is about 0.6 million tons in the world. Exports of Guargum, which were in 2009 and 10, only 0.2 million tons, rose to 0.7 million tons, which is a 223% rise. So you can see that how much is the demand for this particular herb, we can say, or a phytoconstituent of so many drug deliveries nowadays. The rise in the value of exports also rose somewhere like 1300% rise. And if I tell you the regional prices, then on March 21, 2012, the price of Guargum created a history in India by peaking to rupees 1 lakh, that I am telling in the regional currency in Jodhpur spot market, which is the main market for this particular herb. Coming on to the Guargum chemistry, Guargum is a galactomannan polysaccharide that forms a viscous gel when placed in contact with water. It forms solutions that range from slightly acidic to neutral pH, and even at low concentrations, 1 to 2% Guargum forms a gel in water. This is the capacity, this is the thing which is utilized in almost all the drug delivery systems, that with only 1 to 2% of this particular herb or this particular agricultural product with this powder, you can get the gelling capacity, which can be utilized in so many different ways. However, Guargum is not a uniform product, and its viscosity vary in proportion to the degree of galactomannan cross-linking. Because of this physical composition, Guargum-based matrix tablets are currently being evaluated as a method of administering sustained release products. Pharmaceutically important properties of Guargum, as we have already discussed, is the gel forming thing, and then it has very high molecular weight hydrocolloid polysaccharide composed of galactan and mannan units combined through glycosidic linkages, which show degradation in the large intestine. This is another very important feature, that it degrades or it swells mainly in the large intestine due to the presence of microbial enzymes. So those microbial enzymes and the flora which is available in the large intestines degrades it and swells it there. Guargum is used, that is the reason, as a binder, disintegrant, and so on. In pharmaceuticals, Guargum is again the same thing. Moving on further, Then I have summarized a few research papers where it is highlighted that guar-gum is used as an excipient for sustained release. For example, in this particular study, formulation and evaluation of fixed dose combination of bilayer gastroretentive matrix tablet containing atorvastatin as fast release and atenolol as sustained release. In this particular study, they have developed a bilayer tablet of atorvastatin and atenolol that is characterized by initial fast release of atorvastatin in the stomach, but slow release of the sustained release atenolol. So this is how the people are using guar-gum as an excipient. In another interesting study, guar-gum has been used in chronotherapeutics of drug delivery system, where they have utilized guar-gum as a barrier between the two tablets, which you can see in the picture. They are kept in the capsule body. In the capsule body, they filled the filler and then put one tablet. After that, they again block the way of this A tablet by putting an erodible tablet of guar-gum and then the second B tablet, and then they closed the capsule. In this way, the drug selected was losartan, an angiotensin receptor blocker, reported effective for therapy in patients with hypertension and renal insufficiency. In this way, what they have done is that they have controlled that when the drug will be released in the GIT. In another interesting study, what they have done is they have prepared thermoresponsive magnetic nanoparticles. They have aminated the guar-gum with amine group, and then in a separate experiment they have prepared iron oxide nanoparticles, which are magnetic core shell nanoparticles, and then they have reacted all the three things, or you can say they have prepared such a matrix which is impregnated polymeric AGG cross-linking nanoparticles with doxorubicin hydrogel, which can be administered through an injection. Then there is another application where guar-gum can be used for developing floating drug delivery systems, and the example is formulation and evaluation of norfloxacin. Norfloxacin has been used for preparing this floating drug delivery system. And the scientists who have worked on this is Tyra et al. They developed floating system of norfloxacin with guar-gum using various other polymers as well. Then metformin floating tablets have also been prepared by another group again in 2012. So the green one, this is the space where guar-gum has its main mechanism of action, or where it acts mainly in the colon, where the pH is 5 to 7, enzymes are present, bacteria are present, agitation, mechanical movement is going on there, and it works almost from 12 to 24 hours. Without going through the preliminary things, then people have used guar-gum based matrix tablets of dexamethasone for colonic drug delivery. Further, they have prepared matrix tablet of indomethacin. Also, people have used guar-gum as a compression coating agent for colonic drug delivery. And why is usage of guar-gum so favored in colonic drug delivery? So the dosage forms enjoy the shielding effect of polysaccharide in upper part of GIT, and drug is released in the colon by swelling and biodegradable action of polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are naturally occurring in plants, algal or microbial origin, and they can be tested for colon targeting. These are broken down by the colonic microflora to simple saccharides by saccharolytic species like bacteroides, etc. Hydrolysis of the glycosidic linkages on arrival in the colon triggers the release of the entrapped bioactive. That is what we are harnessing, or that is what we can utilize to develop newer drug deliveries. Although specifically degraded in the colon, many of these polymers are hydrophilic in nature and swell under exposure to GI conditions, which lead to premature drug delivery. To overcome this problem, the natural polysaccharide is modified by many groups, and then they have used it to formulate the pH sensitive drug delivery. People have used it for formulating 5-fluorouracil, intravenous administration of 5-fluorouracil for colonic drug delivery in the colonic cancer. They have used it. Then methotrexate gum microspheres have been used, and then it has also been used in protein drug delivery as well as in transdermal drug delivery. And then these are the challenges in the usage of guar-gum. A major challenge in the design of guar-gum matrices for drug delivery is its high swelling characteristic, a property which requires high compression force at production to avoid premature burst release. A chemical modification of guar gum to reduce its enormous swelling properties is a practical alternative solution, especially for the orally administered colon-specific drug delivery. Earlier it was shown that when guar gum is cross-linked with borax, a decrease in viscosity is observed in the presence of enzymes, suggesting that guar gum retains its degradation properties even after cross-linking. However, the borax cross-linked guar gum was not very successful due to its high swelling index in the. So here comes our conclusion that our main conclusion is that care should be taken to properly select polymers while designing delivery systems. The ultimate goal is to design and use a cost-effective, biocompatible, multifunctional, less toxic polymer so that the drug delivery system passes the various phases of clinical trials and benefit the society. So my final take-home message from this short slide, quick slides can be, let us go green and adopt more and more natural polymers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any question? Thank you, Dr. Bhaiya.
Thank you, sir.
This is a certificate of recognition for you, Saurabh Bhaiya. Yes.
Yeah.